A big part is knowing who you are and wanting to stick to that identity is when you're ready to just jump in.
We make the songs that we want to make and we know is true to us, and then we say, okay, now how do we make this relevant for everybody else?
When you're making it, it just feels right, like with you. Like you just hear the song, you hear the instrumental, and you're like, that feels like what I want to make.
I feel like we found an identity. It really seems like it's been clicking with people, and it's really clicked with us, and we've been writing the best songs we've been writing, and they just keep getting better.
Welcome back to another episode of the Chats with Clark podcast. I'm your host, Joe Clark, and here at Chats with Clark, we don't do poppy intros. We get straight to the point. And the point of today's episode, episode 70, is the band Recess. Vincent, Anthony, and Alex, they formed in 2008 as childhood friends, recently made it to Hollywood on American Idol, and are continually rising in the Cleveland music scene and beyond. Recess, thanks for coming to the show.
When every minute heightens my confusion, till I can feel the fall from space. How come you look so close, like you're right in front of me? And if they say that time is an illusion, why can't you see it on my face? How come you look so close, but you feel so far away? Whoa! How come you look so close? Oh, and I know it's over, but it's all I've got. I know I'm halfway there, but I'm just not close enough. Whoa, I know it's over, but it just won't stop. No, I'm ringing in my ear and the sound of giving up. Oh, and I know it's over, but it's all I've got. I know I'm halfway there, but I'm just not close enough. And I know it's over, but it just won't stop. Ringing in my ear and the sound of giving up.
Woo! Let's go, fellas. My goodness.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, simply, what is the best thing that there is to know about you?
I'd say the best thing you guys can know about us is like we are like an epic pop synth band, and we just like bring the energy. We like Anthony brings out a sword during our shows, and it's like we just like make you like feel like you're in a movie. Like I usually like to do that and like just engage everybody in our shows, and like we're very engaging online too, so that's like I'll sit there and sift through all the comments. Even though I wasn't able to get through a lot of them, I'm realizing how hard it is, but I try. I'll sit there and try. I'll be like, all right, you guys get this, I get this, and I'm reading every single one. But yeah, I just like to engage people, and I'd say like that's the best thing we do all around as like a band is like engaging epic orchestral synth pop, as Anthony calls it. But
Could you define that for us? What is orchestral synth pop?
So we like movies, we like orchestras, we like synths, and pop is because it gets a little happy sometimes. I like to say alternative because our most recent stuff is kind of like darker, sadder, a bit more of a rock edge. That's the best way I could describe it. It's just all those words like put together is literally what it is.
Is that a self-coined term, or is this?
That's so like whenever we say like, so if we said pop, it wouldn't fit. If we said alternative, it wouldn't really fit.
Sure.
Synth pop alternative, close, but like you missed the whole cinematic vibe we have.
And recently I've been saying cinematic pop. You know, something like I think especially in like 2020 when me and Anthony would go to the movies a lot, and just that feeling of like, you know, there's something about like when you watch a trailer for a movie, like when you see like the Rocky trailer, you see something like that, and you're like, that is such a, or like Hans Zimmer, and you like see like a really cool, epic type of sound, and you're like, what if that had words? You know, and like there's like 3 songs ever that did that, and they're like,
Well, how it started was
They
we
make
would
you
do
feel-
like, you know how you go to a show, they have an intro.
Mhm.
It's always something epic and awesome. And then the song starts and it's like nothing to do with the intro. It was just like, can they just be like one thing and like come together, and like that's what we try to do with our intros live too, is we just have this epic intro and the song continues. It's like the continuous like full thing.
You know, we're going to be in the works this year on like some very showmanship type things. A little bit about like what I do for the band too is like just a little bit. I do lighting for us live, so we were thinking of doing some cool things with some lights and a little showmanship type thing. But you know, we're still in the works on it to find out exactly what we're gonna do. But I mean, we're doing a big overhaul and big leaning in this year.
That's amazing. I feel like so often we hear that with stories of people who have done something in their business, whatever band, business, whatever their endeavor is, where there's that moment where you're kind of teetering between, okay, do we actually dive fully into this thing? Or do we keep trying to do it all and make it so that hopefully it works? Why do you know that this is your time? And how do you feel like you can just dive all in?
I really started feeling like things have been clicking. Like when I think of our old songs, Anthony and I even say we're like we're gonna be dropping some songs. Like, I mean, I'm not afraid to say we're gonna be removing some songs because it doesn't fit us. I feel like we found an identity, and I really think it's something that everyone likes. And I think what really made me see it was I know a lot of musicians, like if you're a musician out there, like, you know that TikTok is king. And once we started getting a lot of views on our TikTok for our cinematic pop, even doing stuff like Fall Out Boy covers, or like we did one of our single that we're in the works right now, and it got the more views than I have gotten previously. So like it really seems like it's been clicking with people, and it's really clicked with us, and we've been writing like the best songs we've been writing, and they just keep getting better. So like I'm always excited to see the future, but like that's what I really think.
I would say
Yes.
that when it really happened is when we came out with Rust.
Yeah.
I think it was the end of 2024. It was a weird song that like I'm a big alternative guy. Vincent likes more pop stuff. Alex likes synth pop stuff. I like the Gorillaz. I love like Smashing Pumpkins and like weird stuff, like, well, I guess I wouldn't call it weird, but like Passion Pit and just like random songs like that in my playlist. And Rust was sitting in the background for a while because we had this vibe going where it was like that cinematic vibe, but like I said, it was more happy, more choral and stuff like that. And Rust was sitting there, and we just like, we finished it and we put it out as a single, and it just felt different. And then like all the songs we had coming after kind of like it all had a vibe, like had like a straight line going through it, that they're not exactly the same song, but they make sense with each other. And that's like, we keep writing new songs and it keeps following that vibe. So we think that we've kind of condensed ourselves into like, and I don't want to say that negatively, but into like just the type of sound we want to have, and that works with us and that we love to listen to.
I think it's part of it, right? Like a big part is knowing who you are and wanting to stick to that identity is when you're ready to just jump in. In a field like music where it's ever evolving, right? Like I think of, especially as genres are ever evolving, like right now in country music, that pop country is so big, or in just like radio hip hop, it's back to female artists, kind of like it was in the early 2010s that are taking the reins. For you guys, how do you manage to stick with that identity, but also stay relevant on kind of the musical trends of today?
Again, falling back into TikTok. because I think it's a tool that I've been using, and I mean, at least for me, I've been using to really see what's coming out and what's really people are really resonating with, and I look at something like that, and it's like you're like, I like that. How can I do it my way? Like, I think that's what it is like, that's how you stay relevant, is keep an open mind. And, like, for example, I have in my notes or my voice memos, I have a country song and I have a folk song. But I'm like, I'm messaging Anthony back and forth lately. I'm like, okay, how can we do this our way? Because they're really good songs, and I'm like, I want to do this. How can we do it our way? So I think that as an artist is what really like keeps us relevant, keeps other people relevant.
See, I'm not really on socials a ton, so like I'm like the other half of like the songwriting stuff. I feel like if you're doing I want to word this the right way. If you're doing something that you know is unique and you're not chasing that like that relevance, you're like I usually end up doing something different and like newish. There was an old interview I used to watch all the time of Ryan Tedder. He's like the biggest songwriter ever, like One Republic, and he had like I think it was like 5 songs in like the top 10, and the interviewer's like don't quote me on that, I don't know my facts completely, but the interviewer's like what do you listen to when you're trying to write? He's like, I don't listen to music when I'm writing, and that's like it's a pretty cool thing, because that means he's like just in his own head creating his own ideas, doing his own thing. And then when you incorporate that with something like TikTok or whatever, and you see like what people are doing, it kind of inspires you a little bit to like make like just something new and different at the same time.
Yeah. I always kind of think of Drake with that, because Drake, every summer, you know, he's going to, at some point leading up to the summer, he's going to drop his banger for the summer that does super well on the charts. And then, what do you know, a couple months later, here comes the album, right? And the album oftentimes has nothing to do seemingly with the single, but the single gets everyone talking about Drake and listening to Drake again. And then he drops an album that's so different. Like, especially the stuff that he's done recently is far different than a lot of his earlier career. Yeah. So I think that, good.
Well, no, I was just going to say, bouncing off of that, I think now there isn't like really like a chasing of relevancy. It's like when you find like a method like they have to like writing our songs, and they, you know, we know that it's worked. Now it's like we make the songs that we want to make and we know is true to us, and then we say, okay, now how do we make this relevant for everybody else?
But I want to clarify too, it's not so much like it has been like working, quote unquote, but it's something that like when you're making it, it just feels right, like with you. Like you just hear the song, you hear the instrumental, and you're like, that feels like what I want to make. Like, and you listen to it and you're like, man, that's awesome. Well, like, that's the best feeling.
For example, like...
But no, you're right. Because it has clicked at the same time. It's like both coming together.
When you find your own method of doing something, you find what fits you, and, you know.
And people resonate with it. Usually when it works with you really well, people resonate with it.
Right, it's like doing something the hard way for like 4 years, and then all of a sudden you figure out you know how to get there. You know how to do a shortcut on the computer. Like, whatever it is that you're doing in general, like, you know how to skip to it at the end instead of going through 5 steps to get there, you know what I mean? And
absolutely.
Once you do that, and then you do the same thing over and over and over again, and then that's, you know, you just kind of find the general map of how, you know, some of our favorite artists do it. We keep kind of, you know, what comes to mind is like, okay, how long does the music happen before it comes in? That's always a big talking point with like...
We kind of do our own thing now.
Right, yeah. With upcoming bands, it's always a thing, you know. Family members are always like, well, it takes 10 seconds to get in the... It's like, all right, bro, we're not going to change the way that we do. That's the one thing is like...
That's a vine and a half.
Yeah, right. It's like staying true to like, you know, there's a point where it becomes like, I think it's important now to like, you want to look off other people and try to get like, you know, how to, you know, you want to look at people that are successful and do that, but you also don't want to like change who you are or change the art form of what you're doing.
I think,
you know,
what music, I think it's always been, but what Anthony, what we were talking about before, the styles we listen to, I don't consider I listen to like just pop. I think I'm a very melody driven person. So if it's a good melody, I like it. Like on my playlist, I have anywhere from Shania Twain, Sienna Spyro, Sleep Token, Creed, Def Leppard. Like I have all these people, but the thing they have in common, which are on my songs, is they have really, really good melodies. And that's what's always driven me as like a songwriter, which I feel like in today's day and age that the songs are really resonating with people with a good melody, and people have been really listening to lyrics. If there's one common thing that I've seen through the 18 years we've been together, people weren't really concerned about lyrics as much, but now I feel like as times evolved, they make a deeper connection with a song. So that's why a lyrically and melodically strong song, you could almost have it in any style, it'll do well.
That's one thing we changed as well too, is we made our lyrics a bit more, this is the most personal we've ever been with our songwriting. So we used to be like very story driven. We still do stories, like Rust is a story, but like the emotions in the songs, and some of the songs are super, super personal, which we haven't really touched on often, like almost at all, until like just now.
And that's part of that whole identity piece that we've kind of touched on. I think really your energy that you all bring into interacting with your fans and the community that you've built also allows for that, right? Because they know that they're dealing with you. And then when you put such personal items into a song and display that, they can receive that and know, like, this is totally authentic. Like, I feel this, like, this is totally the band, right?
Yeah.
When you're going through that creation process, how do you manage the notion that you're all friends, brothers, and how do you keep that at bay so that someone ultimately has the final say, someone isn't feeling like they're left out? Like, how do you keep it cohesive, both so that your relationship as people stays and then also the band keeps propelling forward?
I think it's all about, honestly, we've been together for a while, so we all know how to communicate, and we're not afraid to be upfront with each other. And I think that's very important when you're in a band, is your true friends are going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, especially when we're writing. And we function as like a vote-based thing for the most part. So like everything we do, we'll be like, hey, do you guys want to do this? And it'll be like, oh, the three of us said yes. One of us said no, we're doing it.
But I'd say for the most part, we always go back and forth until we reach a consensus. And like where it's like, you'll show me what you're thinking. And like a lot of times, like he'll have to like, I'm not very good at making the instrumental and stuff, but he's really good at it. So he's able to show me what's in his mind, and I'm able to go, oh, okay, no, this is what I was thinking with it. And then it becomes like, then you're working.
Yeah.
You're not sitting here saying, oh, your idea is bad. You're building on
But one
each
of us
other,
will,
so.
like, we will look at each other and go, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well,
but then like, or that's awesome. Because then when somebody says that's awesome, you know that what you just made is like awesome.
I do it to myself. I even say I have my voice memos, and I'll make a melody, and I was like, I was really into it that day. And I listened to it the next day, and I'm like, why?
Well, like he knows, because he has melodies all the time. That's his favorite thing to do. He'll send me one. I'll be like, I'm just not feeling that one. And then he'll send, like, after 4, well, I'll get one. I'll be like, that one, that third one you sent is great. And then we just run with it.
Well, it's funny. I'll come to him the next day, and he's like, yeah, that first one. I'm like, I know. I listened to it again. I know.
You're right. And it's like, I think it's just like knowing knowing what role you play in a band too, like me and Vince met when we were kids. So it's like knowing, I'll kind of joke with people when they say this, I'll just be like, you just have to like know how to get stepped on, really, is like, and it's okay, because like if something happens, there's always like a reason, and the back and forth like helps. And it helps too, because I've known them so long, it doesn't matter. Like we're like, it's more like a brother relationship than it is like, because most bands, I have friends who have started bands in their 20s, and it's really hard to keep that. And I like almost don't know if I like started my own thing, like if I would even be able to keep it together, because it's so hard at this age. You've already like learned what you like, and you learn all this stuff. But when you grow up together, it's like, it makes it really easy. Like we have a really cool thing going on where like we all know our role in the band. We do that role, and we know how to converse with each other in a healthy manner. And we know how to like go back and forth. And not only do we know how to like, like if they have something that, or Vince comes with a thing and Anthony gives his take on it, and then I might come in, and sometimes we'll be like, oh, that is good. And sometimes we'll be like, I don't know. And it's kind of like, but it's cool though, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's a brother relationship where it's like, we can end something and be like, whatever, dude, whatever, you're just being blah. And then the next day it's like fine, because we're able to just, it's not that personal. It's just like something it makes it really easy.
I think it's really important to have the dynamic where you could keep each other in check. Like you could weed out all the bad stuff, so you don't make a bad song. We don't want to be making a bad song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like I think it's good to just have like each other to like just lean on that for. So I mean, yeah, it's honestly, it's all, we've been very lucky to just have all three of us with tough skin.
Yeah, you need that. And then when the vision is that you want to keep leveling up and growing together, then everyone's rooted in that, right? It's not someone seeking it for themselves.
Yeah, and it just happens too. Like
it's the understanding too. It's you understand that we're all in it to make a good song.
Well, when everyone like when everyone talks and we all know what's going on, then when it's finally done, everyone loves like what is at the end.
Yeah, and it's happened like multiple times. Like every time and even think back to like 6 or 7 years ago and things that we might not do anymore. Like anytime that we've like been like, it's not right yet, and somebody's like, dude, how is it not right? Every time we've had that, 3 years later, we're like, dude, that's the best thing that we ever did was change this or do this. Like it's always carterizes itself and like it always becomes better. So like when that happens, you're much more like open to like discourse or like and it's stuff that you're like, this is going to make it better later. And we've also had a lot of things that we've done where later we're like, we wish we would have did it this way. So when we have stuff where it's like, I don't know, I don't really like this, we really embrace that, because in the past we know this has gotten better because of this. So like we're a lot more open to that, not bad experience, but like we're more open to that. We're not afraid of that, because that's what makes it better in the end, I think, personally. But
yeah, you need the detours, you need the friction to create the push to keep challenging it.
It's really not that bad either. Like,
just be like, I'm not digging this, and it'll be like, okay, well
let's keep tinkering.
Instead? Yeah,
right. And that's kind of what I mean. Like if you're met with any friction, you're like, okay, I know that there needs to be effort somewhere so that we get the push that we need it to be. Right. If we're either totally scrapping it or we're going to put more effort in to get it to where we want it to be.
It was funny with our last song, I Heard You're Happy. Alex had this guitar bend at the end of near the end of the song, and the song is so dense. There's like 3 synths. There was like 4 guitars playing at the same time, like dubs, and it was all going on. He's like, I really want this part in there. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this in the song, and he's like, here, I'll send it to you. So he sent it to me, and I just like, what I ended up doing was there's a lead guitar part that does like a triplet type thing, and I just cut it out. So like I just made it stop at one part, and then it does the bend, and it comes back in, and it worked. And I didn't. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. I can't fit this in. Yeah,
and it's Anthony and Vince are great songwriters, and it's something like I've really tried to like get into.
Well, he's been in my studio a lot recently, writing a lot of like our new stuff, like guitar part stuff.
Yeah, I've been trying to like do something that's, because my brain like they do with songwriting, like Anthony does with like creating our songs, digitally and through MIDI and all this, just the way that he creates it. Like my brain does, like I can do like incredible things with music because I've been playing since I was a kid. I can do it, but to make it fit in the band with this style of music that I love so much is like I can offer something. And it's like over the past couple years, they've really like been, Anthony specifically, because he produces all our stuff, he's been really like trying to like come to me and have me be a part of it, which I always appreciate, because like I wish I could like songwrite, and I'm like learning and I'm trying to like do this thing, but they've really tried to like
well, that's one thing that
be a part of that.
When it comes to our new songs, like starting with Rust and forward, is we really started incorporating a lot of guitar work, like with a lot of that, with our new stuff. It's actually almost dominant now.
Guitar came back a lot in the past few years.
Well, and it just fits. Yeah, like I said, like we used to be like a rock band as a kid, and like we kind of embrace that again. It just fits our like, we're not a complete rock band, but it fits that alternative vibe that like gives it a little bit of an edge, you know.
Yeah, you're getting. I mean, that's definitely a big deviation from the pop part of it.
Yeah,
right. So
it's crazy because like guitar got really popular again, like when Guitar Hero came out in like '06 or whatever. And like I remember specifically sitting in the movie theater watching the movie Tooth Fairy with Dwayne Johnson, and there's that part where that kid is like playing guitar, and I'll never forget. Like my dad is like my biggest fan growing up because he taught me how to play and everything. So like I remember being in the theater, and there's a part in the movie where the kid is like all upset, and his character and the Dwayne Johnson's character, I forget what his name is. His character is like, he's like, maybe, hey, you might be shredding, but out there somewhere, there's a 11-year-old guitarist, and he's killing it. And like, I was 11 at the time. I remember like looking at my dad, like that was like a thing.
It's
so
like, that's not you.
Right. Yeah. But like that, like guitar got like really cool for like a couple years, and then all of a sudden it completely phased out. And this is when this is I think like some of the most iconic music, like Bruno Mars's first run, Doo-Wops and Hooligans, like that was like when I think pop music had another peak. Like, I don't know if there might have been another one in the 80s or 90s, but like I know for sure that it was like the biggest peak in recent years of like pop music.
Totally.
It was like 2010 to 2014. Like it was crazy.
Right now it's K-pop.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, but during that time, like guitar kind of went away where it became a thing, and this was a real thing where it was like people that aren't directly in music might not know, like when having guitar made the song rock. Is like nobody said it, but that was like a thing. If we have too much guitar in the song, people are going to think it's rock. And the problem with having it think it's rock with us is we were like a cover band when we were kids. And that image, we wanted to break off and get what we have now. Mm-hmm. So before this, like if we had any guitar, so there was like a weird moment where like adding too much.
No, we still had a crazy solo and Leaving Home and stuff.
We did.
We never fully left it, but we did do a lot of like I said, it's like happier type songs. So a lot of acoustic work.
Right. So like in recent years, I think guitar has come back in the way to use guitar properly, and we can make that was like the coolest thing in the past few years where I saw like bands like the Midnight and the 1975 and these bands use guitar in pop music in a super cool way where it's like relevant. It doesn't make it rock, and it's like, oh, you can write a guitar part, you could write something and make it into what we want to without having it be rock. That was the coolest thing, is being able to incorporate.
I just think we stopped caring if it was rock.
Yeah.
Right. But it's also like
we just didn't want it to be like oldies rock is our biggest thing. Because we used to play like Journey covers and stuff, so like that's what like we would go to because that's what we knew. And like that's part of finding ourselves, is we found like our own like way to play and like vibe. And growing as a musician too.
Well, it helps too with the rise of I would say the rise of Reels, TikTok, and if you've seen it, listeners have gotten more complex. It's not the top 20s telling you what to listen to anymore. It's what's going viral, and it's going to be put on your. So you're listening to all this different type of music because other people like it, and it's like now your listening is becoming more complex. So now I feel like that's why there's been this whole opening in music to where it's like people are doing this guitar solos, saxophone solos. Mm-hmm. You'll hear like random little things, like all the weird stuff. And I think it's kind of where like music is bloomed today. And I feel like that's where we like fit in. That's where we do best.
It's so true too. I always think about that. Like if you're an artist of any capacity, the virality portion of social media is like no opportunity before. Which is really tremendous. It is such
you don't need to completely and utterly like know somebody, or else like you don't do anything ever.
Yeah.
You know?
I loved when the world shut down, how people started shifting away from like having agencies and all these things and doing it all on their own. Right. Like I think of Gary Allen was one of the first people. He just went on TikTok and was like, I'm not getting a label. And he's like, actually I need my own label. So I'm making my own label and I'm signing myself, and like just doing it on his own. It's
a brutal way to go about it too. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It is. And yeah.
Because that's what we have. We have our own publishing company and stuff. And I mean, just for now, we are in full control of everything. Sure. So it's a good placeholder, and it teaches you how to do that type of stuff, you know.
When you all were first getting going and you were getting your feet on the ground, making the band move, I would imagine one of the first decisions was coming up with the name. How did you land on Recess?
That was a long time ago, actually. It at first, so it had to do with obviously us being kids. I was like 12 years old, and we came up with the name, and then it got scrapped. And then we came back about it as kids still. I think I was like 13 or 14. And then we hit that point in the band where we were like, okay, like, what does this mean? You know what I mean? And it ended up being an amalgamation of like a break from reality. So it's like something to like get your mind off of like all the other stuff that's happening. And also like, this is a bit esoteric, but it's kind of like a cavernous pit like inside of you. Like the stuff that we're making now, we feel like is coming from the inside. So like
Sure.
go kind of reaching with the Recess thing, but it feels right, you know. And
And
also the names are like gamer tags now, so you gotta be like,
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, it's really easy to remember,
yeah, it is.
and we have it trademarked in the U.S. So
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. I think it's actually a brilliant name. And the youth often, right? Like the creativity that runs through a youthful mind is rampant. And to think about Recess, there's no one who really has, I would imagine most people don't have a negative opinion of the word recess, right? You think of recess, you're like, I love recess, right? You ask a grade school student, what's your favorite subject? It's recess, it's lunch, it's something like that.
Yeah.
So you're creating something that people want to be a part of innately in the name. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
oh,
To that end, too, recently, like we mentioned kind of in the intro, you all were on American Idol. That to me is a show that, again, is so innate to many childhoods, many homes across the country. How was that experience for you? And what was it like being on the inside of the production that so many people are, like myself, naive to?
well, I always heard like people going, oh, this and this, and like for some reason I think some people are, I don't know. I've had a great experience. I mean, every single person in the cast, the crew, or whoever they are, like they're great to be around, and it's just they're so nice and welcoming. Even though a lot of time we're sitting there for hours, and it's a lot of waiting because there's a lot of people, but like it was just a really cool experience. Like, and it's nice to like. I was kind of like getting like shown around everywhere because you know it's a TV show. They want a lot of footage and stuff, so did a lot of interviews, and yeah, I was like, they're just like, all right, come here, we're going this way. All right, we need to take you here. Come with me. I'd be like getting handed off to different people, which I thought was pretty cool.
Such a fun experience.
Yeah, it's like, where am I going next?
We were just
You know,
happy that they let us come on.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna cut him off before he said anything. Be like, it changed my life, and you know, really the impact that it's had on just like, but yeah, no, it's really cool. You know,
I think where we become incorporated is like they wanted us to play our song, so like
nice.
it actually became like all of us were like not only were we there playing, but like it was all of us on the table, which is what it felt like.
From that was what I said too. Was like it was like behind the scenes for me, but like if you want me to go into like the walking in to the room,
Yeah, walk us through it. Like, I mean, I think about, so from my understanding of the process, right, there's almost like there's preliminary auditions before the auditions that the audience sees.
yeah,
And then so there you all come in. Because there's no way they're just shelling everyone in front of Luke, Lionel, and Carrie.
Yeah, they
right?
want to save their time, and they only have so much.
which rightfully so.
Totally.
I was thinking about that.
There's a lot of people who audition.
The
so.
process, and the more every day that goes by and I think about the whole process, I'm like, they do it so well now. Like if ever, like, because family members do that, they'll just be like, well, it's sad, whatever, he's not on anymore, but like dude, they used to have to rent an entire arena for like 8 days in Atlanta to see people in chicken outfits, and like they're like, oh, like now there's like a vetting process where it's like, all right, let's get the stuff that it's such a like their process. You can hate on it and whatever, but you can't see
for sure
500,000 people singing. You just can't do that.
if you've seen it,
So-
they do welcome the random. Like I don't know if you saw that Bus of Sound.
Okay.
Like there was a bus and it had a bunch of speakers on
That
it.
was fun.
I remember walking on the sidewalk and I'm like, what is that? And I have a video on my phone somewhere. It's me walking by them, like I'm looking at it, and now seeing like who was actually doing it, I'm like, I seen that. I walked right by it. I was like, what is this? But it's a mixture of things. Like they do when American Idol is filming in your city, they're gonna the name carries that weight, and they do welcome the random. Like it's not all vetted out, but like they do welcome like, oh, some guy singing in front of the door wants to get in real quick. They're like, okay, come on.
Sure. Yeah.
But they can
Build that
choose
community.
that random which is so. I mean, it's so smart for product. People can say whatever they want about it.
They've all been doing it for so many years.
They as a TV show, they're gonna do what they do, and they're smart about it. I mean, they have a team. They literally have people that just do one thing, and that's like their specialty, and that's the dream.
Yeah,
that's the dream.
So walk us through it. How did you get to the point where you were actually auditioning again in front of the three judges?
I'll get a quick shout out to Josh Randall, and they got some like amazing scouts, and like you know, it's one of those people that like I never thought I would be good enough, you know, because that's what it is a lot of times too. Like you'll see us singers and stuff on TikTok posting videos of us singing, and you're just, people are like, oh, you audition for American Idol, you should audition for American Idol. And then I'm sitting there watching like these guys singing on American Idol. I'm like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'd make it, but like I owe it all to him. Like he messaged me on TikTok, and he's like, yeah, you should do it. I'm like, I've never thought about it. Internally, I'm like, I never thought it was good enough. And he had me do it. I'm singing in front of producers and all the 9 yards, Zooms. And I got the call that I'm get a chance to audition for the live judges.
That's
and,
so cool.
We were actually in the middle of a tour right when he got that message too.
The original message?
Yeah, the original.
I'm always gonna remember my first call with him was in my car in the parking lot. He's like, it was funny.
We
He's
were
like,
at Cedar Point at the time.
He called me out too. He's like, are you in a car right now? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's sick.
You're like, yeah, I just got off stage. Like, I'm doing this thing.
He's like,
what do you mean?
Like, that's awesome. It's totally cool. And I'm like, but like that just shows like the environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just like me and you. They're all people that like, I'm like, some of the people I watch, I'm like, we're like the same age. And like, it's crazy. It's nice to see like familiarity and people that have been doing it for a long time, and you know, they just welcome you. And that's kind of how I felt throughout the whole thing. It was just very welcome. And like, no matter what happened.
It's cool because like it's again one of those things, like when you've been a band for so long, we've had so many things happen where it's like, you know, things don't follow through, or like, we'll stay in touch, and like people don't. Like when we were at Cedar Point doing we played the past few years at Bands of Residence, and it was so hot this past year. It was great, but like we were in the middle of this set, and like whenever people like message us for certain things, and you know, we might be busy when we're in our show season, we're very bit like, we love playing live, so like when we're doing that, like that, we're like into it. And you know, Vince sings like 6 sets a day for 6 days. It's our songs aren't all easy, so like
sure,
we're wearing them out. We're like, we want to do this one. He's like, oh. We're like, so we're in the middle of this, and then we get a message on TikTok about that, and we had no idea that this would be like the thing, you know. And in Cleveland, this isn't LA, obviously, so it's like when something happens, people find out about it. So like we didn't know it was going to be this thing, because we're like, oh, somebody messaged us about this. Oh, it's really cool. But you know, we've learned to just kind of do what you do, and don't get your hopes up, but don't like weigh everything on one thing, you know. Just
that's like what I did. So I jumped on the call, met with him. He originally wanted me to do the song that he saw, but then like he heard a lot more. But like it was just like, I'm like, I'm doing this thing. If I don't get on it, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing.
Sure.
If we do, great. It was a win-win either way.
Well, that's the coolest part is throughout the auditions is we were like, just like shopping songs, seeing like what like he sounds best doing because it's Idol, and we just played ours at the beginning. Like, okay, let's try some other stuff. Come back to it, blah. And then at the end, they're like, all right, you're doing your song. Like, okay, oh man.
So they pick the song that you all did.
They recommend.
Or they recommend. Okay, yeah.
They say that I think this would do the best, and you could do it. You could do whatever you want.
Totally.
But
yeah,
I mean, you're gonna listen to. They know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So then you all go into the room, and there's these 3 legendary judges there. I will a quick side note on that. I actually think these judges probably are like. There's always the classics, right? Like the Simon, the Paula, and the Randy, who's just like so classic. But these 3 judges have all done it, and I think they all have such a unique sound, right? Like Carrie's vocals are like secondary to none, right? You think about Luke Bryan, his ability to engage with the crowd, and Lionel's ability to just merge so many sounds. Like there's a lot of talent, of course, in that room. When you all walk in there, you sit down. What's going through your minds? How are you all feeling?
We go in this room first of all.
I guess you're not really sitting, but
you know how it is. I mean, you could even see it in the audition footage, like how they'll cut and they'll all be different, wearing different outfits. So they were taken from different days in each episode. I was the 3rd audition out of everything. So there's a different type of pressure that comes through that. And the thing about sitting in the room, you're waiting, and it's like, you knowing that you're only 3rd. And then,
well, you're sitting in the room too, and you hear the other auditions going on, and all you hear is the singing, and then it stops, and you're just like, oh, it is pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but there's a behind-the-scenes thing too. It was like somebody was filming in front, and I'm like, well, they're filming. I don't want to walk behind them, but the stage manager's like, go, go, go. And we walked behind them through the door to go in. And then they did a separate shot of me opening the door. They never even used any of it. But
or the part with I'm missing my cue. That's what I was thinking.
Always the B-roll.
It was just like they're like, go and find the X, and then all of a sudden it's just me passing. They cut that out, which was funny, but just me missing my cue, and they're like, back there. I was like, oh.
Well, so I have a lot to talk about at the audition because it's all coming back to me again. But there's a lot more than what you guys saw. But it was all cool. I will always stick to that thing. I just recently saw an interview with Jesse that was on there, and he was like, I walked in, there were stars. It was like looking at stars, and I've been saying that for the past couple months too. And I'm like, wow, I'm not the only one that felt that way. They have a twinkle in their eye.
The most pristine lighting of all time. Like you just walk in there like angelic, and the room is lit up.
If you ever look at someone and they just have like twinkles every time you like look at them, that's what you were looking at. It was crazy.
It was weird.
It's all I could think about the night before, and like this is just coming from like I grew up with like, 80s rock. That's like what my dad like got me into, and like I just kept thinking like I'm gonna be like in the room. Like Carrie's really cool, Luke Bryan's really cool, like that's really cool, but like to be around like Lionel Richie, like him and Michael Jackson were like rubbing shoulders like all the time. Like it's just like I remember thinking about that like the morning, and we got up really early that day. And I just remember being like, I'm about to like perform in front of this like legend. That was really crazy for me because it's just exactly like it is on TV. And people say that, but it's like they look exactly the same, and it was like all set up, and all the camera people are like hiding in the corner. It's just you and them, and it was really cool.
You walk in and they're really nice, but like you walk in, and it kind of feels like the nerves kind of went away for me a little bit after that.
When you walk in, it's a lot different than when you're waiting.
Yeah. But the walking up is pretty it's like the reveal.
Because you're walking for the first time.
You're revealing. But like it was nice. The hall, it was nice. They used like the Hall of Belmont. So like and literally when you enter Belmont, there's this marble area, and they used it, and there's this really nice hall echo, which I really liked. But it was just a really cool experience. We talked. I think our audition was like 15, 20 minutes.
I was just going to ask you that. Like, there has to be so much more that they clip
I sang
out. Like,
2 songs.
Really? Yeah, so
they
walk
showed
us through it. So you all decide, okay, we're gonna trust Josh. We're gonna sing our own song. What were the judges? What was their actual response when you all said, "Hey, we're singing this song. It's our own."
They showed most of that before we did it.
So that's authentic.
Yeah, they showed all of that.
After we played it, though, they cut out some of the conversation we had.
They cut out Alex couldn't find the stool.
I'm thankful because it's like there's nothing. If you know me, you know like that's like such an
right
Alex
there.
thing. Like I never will like I'll never like mentally plan something before to like I'm gonna go and undercut this person. Like I don't plan on like mind games with people. I'm just so like I just try to just be like a dude, and that's so me. Like just like missing the mark totally, like not seeing what I should have seen, and like just it's just such a.
We also went through on how like our family does things for a long time. And then Luke was like, I hope you don't use your toothbrush for a long time. I'm like, no. Every 3 months I change it. But that's the type of thing that's really cool. Is like there's a lot of little small talk, stuff that doesn't make it in there. But I sang the first song, and like people tell like, what are you thinking when you sing? And like you ever think of like what NBA players talk about when they're shooting those free throws, those like vital free throws, and they're just like it's just you in the basket. Well, that's how it was like with me. It was just me and them, and I'm doing this thing and I'm gonna do it. And it's one of those moments where you never really felt locked in, but it felt like all my peripheral went boom, and I was tunnel vision. Right there, like that's how I remember it. Like I was extremely focused, but it's a cool feeling because then the hall verb helped out, and it helped that actually Lionel stood up first and clapped for us after the song, which I thought was really cool.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
congrats.
and then Luke was having his differences and stuff like that, and they were calling him crazy.
Lionel and Carrie were calling Luke crazy.
They were both doing it. It was funny because Lionel's like, you need a coffee or something to wake up. But I think Carrie has this like special love for Journey, because I saw a couple Journey songs and I sang the one Made It On by it was they call him the Doc. They call him Doc. I forgot it. Or I forgot his name. He sang Lights, I think it was. But so I had a song prepared, and it was Faithfully.
So good. Yeah.
And I think she just has this thing where she loves the Journey songs. So they had me sing it anyway. She's like, don't you have one more? I think they told her it was Faithfully, and I'm like, yeah, I do. And he sang Faithfully, and she loved it. And that's when she stood up, and then they did the voting. And
people were dogging on Luke for his no, but Luke talked more than that, and he was like, that original one, he's like, do that. Like he really liked the original song, which was cool, because that's us.
Yeah.
That's
that's just
you can't get any better. It's like,
and that song we sang to is so like I said, we started writing personal songs in the past couple of years. That song is so unbelievably personal. Like it was the very first lyrics of that song is how it was written. So like it says, sitting parked in the driveway, hidden on my own, and I almost given up. And it was like in the middle of lockdown, and it was just like, because we were on a big high in 2019. We played Top Golf's Who Will Rock You. We were touring. The Michael from 5 Seconds of Summer watched our music video on stream. Like it was going crazy. And then everything just got shut down. The studio got shut down. Our EP we were going to come out with, it was like done. No shows, nothing. It was the first summer we didn't play a show.
Oh yeah.
And it was so rough. And that song actually it was us fiddling around at the studio before. We didn't know it was going to exist, but I was playing that dun 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 dun. And it just became a song. And that song being the one on the show is so crazy. Like so crazy to like when you like if you like knew like the headspace, because I read the
Yeah.
lyrics, like the headspace I was in, like when I wrote the lyrics to that song, is it was like it says in the song again, I know it's over, but it's all I've got. I know I'm halfway there, but I'm just not close enough. Like it felt like it was right there and it was just gone. Like
What
so
a full
fast.
circle moment for you
Yeah,
all.
that's what it
right?
felt like.
I mean, to have such vulnerability and then to put it on probably the largest stage that you could put it on.
I can't imagine what they feel like too, because like I got to play it and it's but like
And on
That-
top of it, Carrie
it's just
Underwood
crazy.
hugged me after it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
She
I
shook
was
my
like-
hand too, and I didn't even air that. I mean,
No,
that's,
she did.
this is the thing,
He's
is like
lying.
it's so funny because there's people that aren't really like I don't
That's
talk
just
to
like
every. It's funny
No.
because there are like people in my life that like I don't really talk to that much, but like who have like messaged me about it, and they're like, man, I wish they would have showed more of you. It's like, dude, it's still American Idol. Like us being on there, me and Anthony being able to be on this is
It's more than I thought we were gonna
so
do.
crazy and cool that we got to even be a part of that. That it's like you have to remember what that show like used to be for forever. It's just
Singing
one person
by yourself
one
with
per-
no music.
yeah, one person with a
anything,
ticket taped
boom
to your
mic.
stomach, and that's it. So
They were like, your band gets to like you can play with them. And we're like, that's sweet.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
Like all of us were there and we played our song.
That's what I
like
really
that.
loved about it, though. Is there's all the stuff that goes into the TV, the no and the yes between Carrie and Luke, how they had the feud, whatever. Like, that's just that stuff. That's like the reality part of it, reality TV part of it. But like the fact that they liked our story so much and the genuine story about us so much that they had us come on. Like, nothing I did or said in there was a lie. It wasn't, but like, it was just genuinely us. And like,
It was just us, how long we've been
Yeah.
together, what we do now to, pay
like
our bills,
we
and
would
that's it.
we would always run away from being a band for 18 years because we're like, people will think like, we haven't been doing anything because we've been doing it so long and haven't been successful. But like,
Turns out you need your frontal lobe fully developed before you understand everything.
yeah. Well, at the same time too, it's like, it's that's like
Yeah.
the cool story, being together for that long, because you're showing other people don't give up what you're doing. I think that's been the main theme this year is you don't give up. No matter if it takes you 2 years, 1 year, 18 years, 20 years, if you keep doing it and you keep doing the thing and you keep progressing, taking advice, keeping an open mind, you're going to be doing the thing. There's only one way to go. It's up. Like as long as you just keep growing, and I think that was really what you said came full circle. It was like the 18 years we've been together is led up to this point.
Well, and the coolest part too is like everyone's sitting like in a room with each other. Obviously, it's in different like groups because there's so many people. But like, there's a lot of people you're sitting there talking to for a while that like they're on there now, and like, who knows? Like, because we don't know what happens. Like, they could be like the next person who wins, and like,
Right.
like you got to talk to them. They're like everyone's like normal because everyone's just there for the first time.
That was really cool
It's-
because it's a singing competition. So of course they like separated us a lot. And I was put in a room with a lot of the singers. So I'm like, a lot of the people I see on there and a lot of people you don't see, they're amazing singers. And two, like, they're great people. So I'm like, I
Yeah.
talked to this person.
That's what's
Like,
cool
I know
for
this
you
guy. Yeah.
about round two is like that's like the top however many people out of all
that's
the first
the thing
round
too
stuff.
is I talked to a lot of people, but there's so many people I also didn't get a chance to talk to everyone. So like I'm still following people that didn't even get to see there because you're all doing your own thing and you're doing your own story thing and doing whatever they need you to do, and they got designated people that will chaperone you around to do it. And like it's nice seeing like, oh, I haven't seen this person, let me hear him, and oh my god, and then being able to talk to him online is cool. Like,
Yeah.
for example, like Brooks that was on there, we sat down in like the in the holding room, and like he struck up a conversation with me, and I seem like, I could talk to a bunch of people on stage, and when I'm in a room like that, I'm just kind of like by myself. I'm like, hello, hi, type thing. But like, struck up a conversation with me, and like to this day, I'm like, bro, I remember you, dude. I remember you sitting down talking to me, bro. And I'm like,
Yeah.
And like, he has a fantastic voice. I mean, I don't think there is one person that doesn't have a good voice.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's so much talent.
Yeah.
And big shout out to Landon. He's from Painesville. We're talking about doing something in the future. Hopefully it comes to fruition. But like, they had a good conversation that I was able to like witness. Is they're just like, because like even though like he got off on round 2, we were still there. We were in the crowd, but he's just like, hey, just think about it. Like, out of all these people that auditioned, like we were like here, like it was us. Like this last however many people, like what is it, 100, 130, something like that.
Right.
Out of like hundreds of thousands of auditions.
220,000 people.
Auditions.
Yeah, it's insane.
Not in the room, but like yeah.
No, totally. Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. So that was, I mean, yeah, and he's a really cool guy too. And he's from here, so.
Yeah,
well, he's
totally
from
excited to
Kentucky,
hear about this.
Kentucky to Painesville, but yeah.
They all really are. Like, yeah, it's like talking to one of the peeps.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys handle that feedback, right? I feel like so you're in that room, you're dealing with Luke, who's kind of being difficult or constructive, right? Like, how do you handle the feedback that is innately, quote unquote, negative, but ultimately goal oriented, right? It's what pushes you.
Well, I thought about what he's talked about, and like I understood it. Like, I've been singing for a long time, and I'm very technical with my voice, and like I know, even my vocal coach is like, you could teach, like you probably be a great teacher, because like I just know what needs to be done, how to do it, and how to get it to the next level. But I get what he's saying with the soft stuff. Maybe not all of it, but like, just being a little more accurate with it. And I think too, what also helped is they had some vocal coaches there, and they kind of helped me a little bit with it. And it's not really like I'm not like mad about it, because like we said, we hear constructive criticism all the time, and I just grow from it. But either way, I'm going to use it, and I'm going to use it to everything that I do, because it's coming from a very successful singer to someone that's still trying to grow and get into that. And you just take any advice you get, good or bad. I honestly almost prefer like a more honest thing, because it's something that I can set a goal towards. Like it. But a good thing was about the soft parts. Vocal coaches were like, yeah, you have such a strong voice. When you sing soft parts, just sing it like you're talking, because the higher big parts are so big that they're going to contrast with each other anyway.
Sure.
So that was one thing that really helped me with them, because I feel like some of the small parts I would hold back a little bit, and I would lose a little pitch and a little control on it. And also I would also lose a little air, because you had a little breathiness when you're trying to like do that. So saying it like that, I've been taking into every other thing that we have that are in the lower, softer register, and even the higher stuff. Like, I was going a little too wide, and it was causing my voice to crack. And any of singers, it's the when you push too much air, go a little too wide, your vocal cords disconnect. And when they disconnect, it's like whistling. And when you try to whistle, if you blow it too hard, nothing comes out. Well, that's what happens. So it's a balance, and it's also about mouth shape. And they're like, instead of going wide, go long. it's good. It's okay to be a little wide, but once you feel you're going too wide, you go longer. And that were the two things I really like resonated with me from the vocal coaches, because
Sure.
I'm like these people deal with singers all the time. So I'm like, yeah, like every any little advice you can get, you use it to grow yourself. And I've actually become a better singer since then.
Isn't
All
amazing?
that being said, not a single note about the piano and guitar. We did great.
Yeah, like,
That's right.
And what wasn't good about
was
it, they cut it out
magnificent.
because it's funny. I still have I was wondering. I didn't tell you guys about it. I still have the video the night before of you like recording me playing our second song, like The Choice, and it's just an uninteresting video in the hotel. But yeah, we ended up not eating it yet. It's crazy though, because like it's different getting feedback from people that like know how to, like
That's what struck
we're at
me
American
about
Idol.
it.
The people are there because they're the best at what they do.
Right.
Like there's a difference between that and somebody yelling at us for, like negative feedback. We think nothing. Like when we take it, we don't like shy away from it, but we're like, we've been through it before. I mean, me and Vince were kid musicians. I don't think there's anything that people like doing more than hating on like children doing a thing. Not me. I'm saying like other people do. So like we've been through people saying stuff like, "Oh, he's not good." Stuff like that's whatever. When you're around something like that, like he's gonna take.
What really helped me too a little bit with that was at the intro of Hollywood Week. I don't know if you saw it when they did that whole intro. They're like, we narrowed it down to the best singers in the country. I was like,
Yeah, right. Hey, everybody, this is Joe Clark, host of the Chats with Clark podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode with Recess. I hope that you're enjoying it and have sent it to someone that you think would really benefit from it. Over the next about 20 minutes, we unfortunately lost a little bit of the audio quality given to a corrupted file. So stay tuned. It's not bad. We've edited it for you. Shout out our amazing videographer for his work on making this production as great as possible. And in 20 minutes, you're going to hear that audio click right back over to the amazing quality that you've been listening to up to this point. But just wanted to address it before you switched away or felt a little bit curious as to why maybe it sounds a little bit different. I just finished up a walk in the Metro Parks, so quick shout out to the Metro Parks too, because what a beautiful opportunity that we have here in Cleveland to experience beautiful nature each and every single day. Thanks for listening. Keep tuning in. Yeah, right.
oh,
That's what's so, the whole dichotomy is so cool to me, right? Like you did so well and you all achieved something that so many people strive for but have frankly not been able to do, right? And that's not to put them down, it's totally to lift you guys up. Like that's so incredible. And then also to be able to get feedback from people who are even further in their careers, like even at a higher level, that are like stars, right? They're all superstars. To have their people and them give you feedback is so, it's invaluable.
That's what felt really cool too, is like, critique aside, because obviously it's helpful, but like listening to like someone like a Lionel Richie going like, you nailed that, and like it was like that song was just like powerful, and it's just like that's something we wrote, and that's the dude who wrote like all the like biggest hits of like the 80s.
That was
what
I was saying earlier. That was so cool afterward.
I really
I think Carrie's the Sunday Night Football singer, so it's just like crazy.
And it's like just hearing from them too, like especially Lionel Rich, he's been doing it so long, and when he said, he's like, you sound like an old seasoned guy with that voice, and it seems like you know what you're doing with that thing.
Never forget it.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know I sounded like that.
Our song was so cool. Like at just the hotel at the night out, where we're just like, that's like you have to play our song and do it. And then it's like after the whole thing, it's like, okay, now are they gonna show it? That was like after the whole thing, we're like,
that was the big thing, is once it aired and we saw, it was really cool because they were going through real fast, and it was like, this guy went on the wall of sound bus or whatever and all this stuff, and all of a sudden as he goes, "Hi, I'm Vincent," it cut to that. We had a watch party, and just then like everyone like cheered. It was really cool because we were just like, we didn't know you don't know if you're gonna be on.
Yeah.
And then like he walks out and he like introduces himself and like, "Oh, you're about to see it. Like this is it." Because it all got quiet. And he just walks out, and we're like,
it's funny too. I want to make sure I like say this so that people know for sure. Because like when people are like, "Oh, like when did you know?" But it's like until they aired the show, we were not sure. Like we weren't like going into the audition, even after he got the golden ticket, like we weren't like, oh, like this is it. Like we had no idea because it has to go through all the editing. We don't know if they're gonna show it. You know, I've gone through stuff like I did America's Got Talent when I was like 10 or 11 with a different project at some point, and like they never aired it, and there's stuff that they don't air for everything. So it's like we didn't know until they showed it that like, wow, this is really cool and people are gonna get to see it, and it's our song too, which is like they could have been like, hey, we're doing something else, and we could have did a cool cover, and that would have been great. You know, there were other people that did covers, and like the artists responded, like that would have been sweet too. But like to do what we do on there and like something that we created and that we have so much passion for was like so cool. And like we've been like us in the band, like our family, like we know Vincent's really good, and like we're like, oh, he's like the best. But like, you know, like to finally like get like a validation from like something like that was so cool, dude. And it just like felt really good. It felt not real.
I also have a shameless plug. This will be out by the time it's already happened. But next Friday we're playing his unaired round 2 song as a band. We're playing that live. We're gonna keep playing it. So if you come to our shows, you'll probably hear it because it wasn't able to. So many people, it wasn't able to be aired. But we're gonna do it because it was really good.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Really wish it would have aired, but it's okay.
Just one thing. I wasn't nervous. I was emotional during the song. I wasn't nervous.
Well, no, that's actually what we talked about that because like you said, how it was a full circle thing. When he sang round 2, he sang "The Scientist" by Coldplay, and like he said, it's what's the lyric to the song?
Well, when I sang it, so come up to meet you, tell you I'm sorry, don't know how lovely you are. I think I remember when I started like, kind of like, literally tearing up because I'm not a very like emotional guy all the time, and you know, especially when I got the golden ticket, I'm just in shock. Like, they're like, are you excited? I'm like, I'm surprised that I'm even here right now. Like I'm just still going through, I don't show it. Like, I don't go, ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think it, would me to tell you I'm sorry,
Nobody
don't
said
know
it was
how lovely you are. I think it was nobody said it was easy. And I think that's what like really like when you're in front of that crowd because they filled up that room.
Well, that's the lyric. Like I said, how it was full circle in the song. It says, "I'm going back to the start," and he nails this high note. Like the whole band comes out and everyone starts cheering and stuff, and that's actually why he cried.
Well, yeah, it was like
because like he said, he was like we were just happy to be there. So like the fact like being on or off, it didn't matter to us because we were there.
Well, it's like you're on this beautiful stage. Like I've been on stages and stuff like that, but to have this stage that's like shining, Sabrina Carpenter's band, Chris Pulley, and the band behind you, they toured Sabrina Carpenter. I've been listening to Sabrina Carpenter since she landed Girl Meets World. So I've heard her evolution. And
a band second to only Your Boys, right? I'm just kidding. But we could not do what those guys did.
They learned all those songs in one night.
Yeah, I could not do that. I couldn't even remember that.
They learned all those songs in one night.
Yeah, there's
over 100 songs in one night.
Yeah,
I remembered them.
There's a guy.
That's the hardest part is remember.
I forgot what his name was, but there's somebody that we know. I don't know if it's whatever. He had to learn like 50 songs for a big band, and like he had to learn them in like 2 weeks, and like they just like do it, and it's it's kind of
you think about it. There a lot of times too, like even what some people say to us, and I do it too. Like you go and you know some of them sometimes, like you know some of the songs sometimes, but
those guys are probably so seasoned that like they can find the gist of the song.
But either way, like the stage, just the lighting. I'm a big light guy, and just see all the lighting. I was about drooling a little bit, but like
and those screens you see like on the show, like those giant like how you see like the with the flying candles and stuff like that's like giant LED or LCD whatever they are screens.
Yeah, LED walls.
Yeah.
But like I go on this big stage and then you know how if you look into an empty theater, everything seems very far.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it felt like during the rehearsals. Like everything felt far. It felt like this big room. And then they filled it up, and everyone went from over there to right there. And to see that, I was like, and that's kind of what broke me when I said, nobody said it was easy, because it wasn't easy to get to this part.
Yeah.
Like we've tried out for shows, haven't even gotten past the preliminary rounds and stuff. So like,
We actually said we weren't going to do it anymore.
yeah,
And then we got the
that's
message
what
from
happened.
Josh. Yeah. That's what made it so cool, is we were just like, like, we're like, the shows are cool. This is really cool. Wish we could do it, but we're like, we want to focus on like touring and playing and like getting really like good at what we do.
And like,
And then it just so happens
Yeah.
that like everything kind of affects another thing,
Well, it all happens
That's
for a
what it
reason, it seems like.
Yeah, it's always when you're gonna break that,
Just like-
that it happens, right?
Yeah.
That's when the opportunities always strike.
Yeah, like we said, like when everything started clicking, when Russ came out, all that stuff, everything started just building up, and now it's like just like a ball going downhill. It feels like.
it like helps too, because like people are like, oh man, that really stinks. It's like that he was voted off. We're like, dude, we got to be on the show, and it's like, dude, this band is built on like the failures of growing up.
Well,
Like that's like failing is like our like he said, like we've sent in so many things and so many different. When people say like audition for America, every person who sings wants to do every single thing all the time.
Mhm.
So like we've
What I tell
tried.
people too is like, I had less than a 30% chance to make it in there, and I mean, so did everyone. I said like, I'm like you. There was a ton of other amazing singers.
Yeah.
But like, this is not everyone's path, but this is part of it for everyone, which is amazing.
Yep.
That like you even get to experience it, and you get to create these connections with people. You're all put in this one room, and you're all from across the country.
We're
And
open
I'm
for
sitting
that.
there rooting for everyone.
We're open for that Benson Boone run.
Right?
Get off on round 2 and then meet Dan
Insane.
Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
Will you guys do it again?
Would we?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Would
I
I
would do
will.
it.
Yeah?
I would do it.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
like,
Take the advice. Keep
Perform
practicing. Do it again.
like that, or
We really,
Try out again.
we would really like to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
something band oriented.
Yeah.
But obviously, if they want us
They
back,
can
Vincent's
call
gonna
on.
come back. Yeah. But like, there's one thing that I will say is, as a unit, there's something when we play as a band that's just like this like uniquely special thing, because like he nails his singing. He has like beautiful melodies. He's up there like powerful singer. I'm in the back. I have a guitar and a sword, and I'm flying around like a wacko.
I'm
And
in
then
tune.
Alex is like ripping, and then our drummer Sam, he's just going nuts, and like there's just this thing when we all play together. It's like this just like ball of energy that's just crazy, like this fiery ball of just music and power that happens. And then it goes into the sad stuff, and it just becomes this like orchestrally beautiful, like almost like just this organism.
Well, that's another thing. I had them on for the audition, and then after that they're gone.
Yeah. So,
we were
So
there.
it's
We were up in the crowd.
well, I know,
Sure.
well, yeah, but
No, I know
there's
what
a
you mean.
different feeling though when you're like used to these people.
Yeah.
I'm used to Anthony on my left. I'm used to Alex on my right. I'm used to Sam in the back.
Playing our first song twice.
It's funny
Yeah,
because
Skip
to the next song.
We'll just blame him for that. But my program has this thing that it likes to default to, and it's again.
So like we'll play
And
our
it's
first
not
song, and we'll
on
just
next,
replay
and
the
it'll
same song.
replay it. We'll be like, Sam,
Next
come on.
we do like intros and stuff. Let's hear the intro start again.
And it happens like it's happened like the past 7 shows in a row, and I'm like I don't like do like I'm just the guitar player, so I don't like complaining. I don't like being like your typical guitar player. So like I'm like, bro, how is it 4 shows in a row? But I'm like, all right, I gotta settle down. I don't want anybody thinking I'm a real like
That's the only thing I
angry
wanted
guitar
to-
player.
I wanted to say too is like when you play as a band, like when something does happen, like you're in like a squad.
Yeah, it's a different feeling being on the stage, but it's like all I had. Yeah, you have these amazing musicians behind you, but they're accompaniment. Like they're there to play your song. They're not there with you.
right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, you
So-
all put all your blood, sweat, and tears into this together.
Yeah,
was-
and then
and
it's
then
like
you're
you're
able to
on that
out.
stage. Yeah.
I was just thinking, or I was talking with my girlfriend last night. We were talking about like how she has trouble like performing in front of people. Now, like she's like in her own head, and I'm like, dude. She's like, can you perform in front of like? I was like, dude, if I had to like speak like a lot in front of a ton of people, I would be like really nervous. But like playing guitar, you could put 1 million people in front of me with this band on stage, and I would not be nervous. I would be really excited.
Yeah.
That's like when we play like big shows, I'm like, oh, I messed up this little part, but it's never like the wrong notes. It's always like hesitation, like the right notes at the wrong speed. Like I get like really excited.
Well, and it's very
It's like-
comforting just getting up there and like you're with like your same squad. And you just know that you know like what you're about to do, like
And
you know what you're about to play.
And you're like you
I can
love
also
it.
disappear in the back when I'm not sitting on my singing part.
And if something does happen, like you hit something, you look over, like Alex and I are the drums, and just like and you just keep going, you know.
It's not, yeah,
It's
exactly.
just fun. It's funny, but like, yeah.
Jen, so what's the end game for Recess in all of you?
We're gonna push it as far as we can. I mean,
We
I
want
don't
to be.
see an end game right now.
Yeah, we want to be like just as big as our band can be, like as a group, like a band. Like we love writing songs. And we would love to just like do it like all the time.
Yeah.
That's one thing I want to say is as kids you're very what's the word I can't think of the word right now. You're very no, what's the word?
Put down.
No. As a kid, you always like dream that you can be like the biggest thing of all time. Like you look around, like we kind of suck. We're kids. We're like we're gonna be the biggest band in the world. Like it's like you're just a bunch of kids like doing it, you know. And then you get older and you're like, okay, you like orient yourself. Like I said, the frontal lobe grows and it gets to its ending point when it comes to maturation. You're like, okay, there's a lot of good bands out here. Everyone's doing their thing. Let's just try to be the best we can be, you know? And there is something that happens when you go on like Idol and you hear Lionel Richie say that and like they kind of are just like, what you're doing is good. And you just like, that spark kind of hits you again. Like we could do it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it is something that does get you emotional because you're like, you kind of lose that as like you do it for so long. And like when you feel that like start to spark a little bit again, like you're just like let's do it. You know what I mean? You get like amped up. You're like we can do it. Like we're here. You know?
If people that do something, I'm always blown away by a notion of just stagnation, right? Like if you actually love what you're doing, why would you not want to scale it to the highest point that you possibly can and bring as many people in with you as possible? It does not make sense.
I think that
I haven't
comes
been
to-
able to post for the past couple of days, and I've been anxious about it.
I think that comes down to too is people's goals. Because I know there's a lot of people who like make art for art, and they don't want to dabble with the social media stuff and stuff. And I don't blame them because it does kind of suck, especially when you're first getting into it.
So,
But once you like you said back in the 80s, like how did you make it so you can make music for a living? Is you had to have a guy walk into a place you were playing at one point in time over like the course of 10 years and get lucky one night and the guy goes, we'll sign you and then we're gonna
it's like you
take
got the
all
stuff, kid.
we're gonna take everything you own. You're gonna be like all messed up on the road and stuff. And now it's like that platform that they had sole control over. Like you have the ability to get on there and present yourself like, hey, this is what we do. And like when you start like understanding that and doing it, it becomes like an exciting thing where you're just like, let's get this up there. Let's see who sees it. Because we got the message on TikTok.
right.
And I think we were a year and a half into like really posting TikToks all the time. We were big on Instagram and stuff. We were doing Twitter back when it was Twitter. And then, like I said, lockdown happened. It went down. And then we came back with TikTok. We're like, let's really get into it. And it's been crazy. And it's like really fun to do now. Where it's like, we'll put a video up and he'll like, because Vincent edits it. I edit some of them. Alex will edit some of them. We'll send it to the group chat because, like I said, we all like vote on whatever we do. So we'll see it. We'll be like, when everyone goes, oh, that's sick. We're like, that's going to do really good. Like it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
So now basically the whole thing is like just believe any message anybody sends you. Like this dude wants us to send these Walmart gift cards. We sent them. We're still waiting to hear back. I mean, dude,
I
who
actually
knows?
just
Just TikTok. What's next? Like, there's a prince from another country. He wants us to send $15,000 cash, so we sent it. We're waiting to hear back. We haven't heard back.
So he's
but I'm
gonna
sure
send back 15 million.
Yeah, right.
Very sound
We're gonna be
advice.
rich real soon, dude. It's crazy. It's gonna be sick.
I asked this question for the first time.
It's dangerous to say that because there's like
Don't-
five
don't believe
people.
Don't do that.
Yeah, right.
We're
There's like
joking.
5 people with emails in their inbox right now. They're like, all right, I'm good. No, don't
do your homework.
Yeah, no, it's too good to be true. Is most of the time still too good.
That was
to be
funny
true,
because, like I said, we not to go back too far, but we were at Cedar Point. We were all drenched in sweat. It was like our 3rd day playing. It was just about to hit 4th of July, so we were kind of amped up. Like we're about to play. It's like I said, we're drenched in sweat, whatever. And Vincent's like, I just got a message on TikTok. We're like, whatever, we wanna go.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I think I should look at this. And we're like he came at me. I was like, what are you talking about? And he showed me Josh's page, and I was like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. Like, message him, see what happens, whatever. And then now we're here.
Boys, what advice, and I asked this question for the first time 2 episodes ago, and it feels just apt for all of you. What advice or what would you tell your 10-year-old selves in the event that you were able to? With where you are now, what would you tell
You
that
can start
version
out.
now?
I need to think about it.
I would say, you don't give up. When TikTok comes around, like we made our page right when TikTok started.
Can I add a qualifier? It can't be like advice like bet on the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016.
Oh, but here's a legitimate thing: is I always think about it. Is I remember Alex
Hey,
coming to me.
Get on
going,
TikTok now.
well, I remember Alex coming to me like, "Dude, we gotta download TikTok." And I'm like, "Oh!" At the time, it was just a dance platform.
Yeah, it was like Musically.
It was a knockoff of Musically because what went down or whatever. I don't know what happened with that.
It was.
I think it was like
Yeah,
purchased.
it was.
I think it was
Okay.
purchased by a bigger company.
Okay, that's what that. So we turned into TikTok, and I'm like, oh, it's just dances, but we made an account. But like we never really done anything about it. But that would be like the prediction advice I would have given myself is to like just start posting a bunch on it.
No, but it's great advice, right? Like you're prancing at opportunities is
Yeah.
really the root behind that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to take it and run with it. I think
Yeah,
there's-
well,
I think
that
that's real.
basically make the best out of every opportunity.
There's
Yeah.
no way to know that TikTok was going to be as big as it was. Like we were using other social media. Like, we were really big. Like we were like all hands into like Twitter and stuff like that. Because Twitter was like TikTok with no videos. Like it was a quick back then. Like the music community was really cool. Like we liked the different communities. So Instagram we were focused on. When TikTok started, it started as like almost similar to Vine. You know, people didn't know like, well, do I make like short videos? Like it took a while for them to kind of like gain like the ground in everybody's mind, like knowing like what is to be done there. So I guess we didn't really know it was going to be what it is, and we had some other things.
Well, back then it wasn't very like content wasn't a big thing for musicians. It was like music and then like music videos and like maybe some like promo stuff. You know, it was never like
There was just
like
other
Johnny
social
Val-
media.
It was never
For sure.
ever like Johnny
For sure.
Valentine,
Yeah.
where he's like putting his song in the background and looking at people in slow motion. You know what I mean?
But I would say like, I would always tell myself to never give up. That you can always get better. And I honestly think there's nothing that you can't do, and you could. I would say like, push your limits. You know what I mean? Like, don't hurt yourself, but like, see how far you can go because you'll surprise yourself. Because like at the end of the day, like you're always growing, and I'd say you never know everything, no matter how big you are. And I think that's the biggest thing. People will hit that wall where they think they know everything. And there's nothing I could possibly not know. No, this is arts. This is life. There's always something new, and I'd say those would be like the biggest things of myself. Another one which I didn't follow. I never actually like followed through on it. When somebody says it's you always get screwed on your first deal.
Don't believe him.
Don't believe him.
There's
I didn't believe him, just so you know.
yeah.
I would say, personally, because while he was talking, I just was really thinking about it. There were very important things that I think have happened throughout my life personally that like made me learn the advice I would give. And I don't know if I showed up when I was 10, if I would listen to the advice I gave without those like experiences of what happened. So I think the only thing I could really tell myself back then that would actually help would be not to be afraid to get like personal with what you're making and like really put yourself into it. Because I used to have like, with lyricism at least, a detachment to like what I was writing a little bit. And it would be like, even some old songs we have still personal, but like it would be like basking, or like not basking, but like thinking about the future, thinking about like if this happened, not thinking about what's happening or what has happened. I think when writing that would help the most. But like anything else, it would be like, if I went to myself and I said like, hey, you know, make this type of music or do this type of thing, it's like it wouldn't be like it is now, because I didn't like feel it or learn it, or like it didn't hit me like in the chest, you know. Because that's what everything, I feel like everything that has changed about me personally, and band aside, is it's just like it's always been just like an oh shit moment. Like I just realized this, or like this happened to me and this like turned into this, and it became this powerful thing because of everything that did happen.
It does. It takes the whole gamut to fill the journey.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes if the bad stuff doesn't happen to you, you don't have the drive to continue. Like, for example, like the gym. I was 12 years old, 13, 14. I was out of shape. And then just one day I just like looked in the mirror and I was just like, I gotta fix this. And like that one moment, like you remember that forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's a stupid, example.
That's a great example.
But like it's that type of thing. Like you're sitting there and you're like, I used to write songs for like 8 hours a night after high school. Like I used to just write, just bad songs. And if none of those bad songs ever existed, then I'd be writing them now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd be bad songs now if they weren't bad back then. So it's just getting it all out, going through that. So I don't know, that would be the only advice that I think would probably help, is to just don't be afraid to put yourself into the song, like things that have happened.
So I think something that I've embraced and I've tried to like tell as many like aspiring musicians as I can, like in general. Like I don't know if it hits certain people when I tell them, but like I try to say like if I would tell myself this, just like learn something new every single day, and like really embrace things that you're bad at, because like he was talking about earlier with singing and with like everything, there is like a science to everything. Like my whole thing is like taking something at the beginning of the day that I'm not good at, and like I'm going to figure this out. Like 100% going to figure this out, whatever it is. Give me a thing. If it's playing a video game, if it's playing this or playing a certain guitar part, or how certain things work, I'm going to figure it out. There's no way I'm not going to. It's just being able to sit there and I'm going to figure this out. And like just telling myself like the things that you're bad at, take all this stuff that you're bad at that you wish you were good at, and just every single route to get there, go through every single route. And every single failure is like worth failing at, because every failure is like with the light bulb, every single failure is learning something. And it's like, I remember I would just be like comfortable with what I was doing and just do the things that made me comfortable. And it's like, then you have to figure it out when you're an adult, and nobody wants to do that, especially as a musician. Like I just would have told myself to just embrace all your failures and figure it out, because you literally can. Everything that you think you can't do, you literally can. And there are things that I was bad at that I just like figured out how to do just from sitting there. Like I figured it out. It was always there. And I could sit here for hours and tell how many things in my life I've like figured out later. And it just took like a day of like, what is this? Why is this like this? I'm going to figure it out. And if I would have been doing that since I was 10 or 11 or 12, I would be way further than I am now. And that's just part of growing up. You figure stuff like that out. But...
Can I add something too? I think one thing I would say too is sometimes change feels really bad and it's very rough at first, but after time passes and you like you said, figure it out with it, it's always better, almost always better. So like anything that could happen, lockdown, whatever, this person leaves your life, this person comes in, whatever, if you vet it properly and do your due diligence and grind at it, like it will work out better.
I love that notion of reframing. And throughout all three of you, you all share like a certain humility and appreciation for the difficult times and what you've taken from them to keep developing. I think that's so true. It's so interesting to hear people who are on a journey look back and tell themselves, you're going to make it, and actually not really want to change anything, but give yourself advice to just keep growing along the way.
Yeah.
I think that's so interesting and fascinating.
And honest, like to be honest, every single bad comment that's ever been made towards us, that's really, people say what they want about bad comments, but you need bad feedback. Even if it's like the craziest thing, like I hate Vince's hat and he doesn't wear a hat right now. If somebody said that, like it's not true. It might not be the truest thing, but like that kind of...
It's not true, because that really hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
That's why you'll never see him in a hat.
Well, no, that was different. That was a bad example because he did actually use
I never wore a hat again.
but it's like bad feedback. Like you need bad feedback, and even if it's like something like so crazy and like you learn that over time. Like you stay true to yourself, but like it's you need the people that people call them haters. It's like there's a weird cloud around that word to like you need that. You need that.
Well, there's some people online that just say things just to say it.
No, people are people.
But like
yeah.
A good example of learning from things is I did a video. It actually has which I'm surprised it does because I crack in it a little bit. But I was warming up for a show in Minnesota that we did earlier this year. Shout out Lion Paws. But talking about comments that have really helped us out. Some comments aren't even any productive. They're just trolls. They're just trying to get you mad, get a reaction out of you. But this one comment on a video that has around 65,000 views right now, when this open arms trend was going on, I saw it and I'm like, I used that as a a warm up for my songs usually, and it's usually worked for me. And it'd be great to do a video on it. And shout out Lion Paws in Minnesota, at which
St. Olaf?
Yeah, it was St. Olaf College, and we were doing a sound check, and I went up to Alex's girlfriend Grace. I'm like, hey, can you just take a video of me doing sound check? And I sang Open Arms, and I was squishing my O's. I was going, open, like it was like a squish, and then it went open. And someone didn't call me up, but they recognized it. I'm like, oh, well, let me try to keep it more open. And that stopped my cracking because it was just that major change. It was it's easier to just do little changes as you sing than do a big jump, because especially in that high of a register, it's it's crazy that some person on the internet helped me out.
That gradual progress too. I love that you say that the incremental changes are so beneficial, right? We underestimate how much we can do in X amount of time, or we overestimate what we can do in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But it also strikes me too to speak to your humility in the sense that you were talking earlier about how you cannot know everything, right? You always can learn something. And I think that's such a powerful example in that, especially from a random comment from a random person on the internet.
Yeah.
That's a great
Vince
example.
Is one of those open to critique people of all time. My girlfriend's a really good singer, and he'll take advice from her. I'm like, he's been performing since he was 4, and he'll be like, what do you think about that? Like he's so open to that, and you need that to be a better musician. In general, you got to be able to. So that's all the best have stories about doing that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's pretty sweet though. I love getting new feedback. God, love when somebody says I'm doing something wrong. I'm like, oh, it goes into the thing I said about figuring things out. I love that because it's especially hearing from the best. You hear stuff that just I love. I'm like, oh, that's what I was doing the whole time. Nobody feels sometimes you feel dumb, and sometimes you're like, wow, that's really cool. And yeah, it's really cool.
It's a new challenge.
I love that.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that. I love waking up and being the same person is like so like not enticing to me. Like it's so cool to like learn new things and just I don't know. I just think it's sick.
Gents, there's a closing litany that we do on Chats with Clark. And again, most often it's just one guest that runs through these 5 questions. For the 3 of you, I'm going to ask you to round robin it. So one of you take each one, whoever feels called, take it. We're going to run with it. The first one is very simple, but I think it's quite a profound notion. I think that people who live with gratitude on their minds and in the forefront of their lives have better lives than those who do not. So the question is, what role does gratitude play in your life?
Gratitude plays like I would say a vital role. It makes every comment, every like just more special. I've kind of focused on the little things, you know, looking back to when we would only get 500 views on a video and to now where you get average 1,500. And I just think about that all the time. And that's what gratitude does for me is it has more appreciation for what's happening now. And it's just going to keep going.
It will. Yeah. When you appreciate the small things, I feel like it makes the big ones even better.
Yeah.
Right. It makes it all sweeter.
Yep.
The second question kind of is the opposite. Do you have any regrets in your life? And if so, what have they taught you?
As like a band, is that, boy, obviously this is a band related conversation.
In general.
Yeah. I think it goes back to just what I said, and it ties in with your stuff about gratuity, if that's the right way to say it. I feel like just pondering on like stuff that you should have done differently isn't going to help you, because you're going to do it the same way every time, because that's just like who you are at that point in time. As long as you learned from what you did and you changed it or didn't do and changed it, like that's the important thing. So like I feel like life gives you as many chances as you're willing to let it give you. Like if you're working hard to get those chances, then like the more you'll get. So if you do something wrong, you learn from what you did wrong and you change it for the next time it comes by, then you'll be okay.
There's a quote that I've grown to love, and it says that
I wonder if it's the same as the one I'm thinking of. Go ahead.
life values the persistent, not the deserving.
No, but that's that.
Life values the persistent, not necessarily the deserving. And that's it, right? Like when you
Brutal,
can
but true.
Yes, when you can take something and keep working at it and keep growing and developing, there's so much reward in that, and it's probably coming your way.
I hope so.
The third question, I really think that life is exciting. I think that life is full of adventures if you can let it be.
Here comes mine.
To that end, Alex, what is on your calendar that you're looking forward to?
Oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to. Oh my goodness, there's a specific show this year that we're playing again. It's just really fun, and we can just kind of travel and do it. We can't announce it yet, but we've done it before, and we're gonna do it again. And it's just I tell people all the time that might not be performers. There's nothing more rewarding at this stage of being a musician, obviously. Like, if you're a touring musician, you know. But, like, there's nothing that makes me happier than waking up and my day is this band and being, like, when we have morning band practices, like, I don't like getting up in the morning, but I'm always happier in the morning. And I actually end up, I'll, like, just getting up. After that, like, I love more, like, there's nothing better than, like, starting my day and it's, like, let's go do sound check. It's 10:30 in the morning. Like we have a show at 2. Like I love that. And like being able to get to start your day in music is like my favorite thing. So like I'm just really excited to be able to like do that again. And just like I really, really love all the little parts of being in a band like that. So I'm really excited for I'll just say shows, but it's going to be something where we get to wake up and do music.
Could I add on to that?
Of course.
I'm really excited, to do the shows, but excited to meet, because this opportunity has really gotten us out there, and to meet all the new people that are like kind of joining this like community that we built. and just to kind of see like us grow. That's what I'm most excited about.
Absolutely.
I
Building that community.
I like
Yeah.
that addition, and kind of going back to St. Olaf from before, like in the school in Minnesota, like we went for the first time this year. We played a lot of shows in like for like colleges, and people are like you'd think that the world is getting like worse at talking to each other, but like, dude, when you get out there, especially like music, like we love music, like the people that we met were so cool. I didn't meet one person that rubbed me the wrong way at all this year. Like everybody was so nice and like
That's because they're all in your band.
no, but, like I just
That's
like,
what I'm here.
like,
I'm here for rubbing people the wrong
anybody
way.
who's not yelling that something is like, you know, as long as you're not like,
Who's not
hey,
yelling?
you can't park here
It's like
or
super
something.
specific. Anybody who's not screaming directly at my face is
Like,
a good guy.
I'm always
to
just
me.
like afraid to like be like in the way. So like as long as it's not some like that, and I'm just feel bad. That's the only reason. But like people that we met was so cool to like really people are out there to have good communication, and if you get out there, you kind of learn that. And we had a really good time this past year, so I like that addition.
Yeah, that's part of what the root of the question for me is that I really value putting myself out there and the experiences that life brings. I think that's what makes it so exciting and just so beautiful and such a gift. So that's definitely the root of the question for sure. The fourth one, every night when you lay down to go to bed and you're reflecting on the day, what is it that you hoped to have brought to that specific day?
I'd say what I hope to bring to the specific day is just to be one step closer.
Yeah, I think that just effort.
Did I do something today to better myself, or did I go back the other way? Because then I have to take 2 steps forward tomorrow. Because like, there's no taking steps back now. Or mid-20s, it's over. Like there can't be a day where you go backwards anymore. And like, it's just that's good for life in general. And it's okay to stay maybe the same as the day before if you've worked really hard. But you know, we're in the process where we're still working. So do we get better? Do we do something today to move us forward? And hold each other accountable for that. I should come up with more ideas for videos.
And then the next day too.
And
the next day, yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
That 1% better notion is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Last question to you, gentlemen. Do you have any piece of advice or any monologue that you wish to present to a specific sect of the audience or to the audience abroad?
Some advice I would give, I think, as musicians is there's a leap you have to take in becoming a musician to where like there's a lot of comfortable spots in music. So like there's places that will, you know, pay you to play a certain type of song or do a certain thing every single night, blah blah blah, to a certain crowd, blah blah blah. But taking that leap to find yourself and taking not only the monetary hit but that almost jump off a cliff and like hoping that your parachute opens is so important to music that it's like it can't be more pronounced, or that's not the word I'm looking for, but more talked about. Is this because like I said, you can get into a certain cycle in music where it gets comfortable and you make money and you're doing your thing, but it's not what like you're there for. I think a lot of musicians, a lot of aspiring musicians need to take that leap and just be like, okay, let's really push it. Let's really put ourselves out there, do this thing, and, you know, leave this scene, leave this thing we're doing, and, you know, take the plunge. That kind of goes back to what we have done as a band for a long time. Us three specifically is ever since we started as a band, we have foregone all money we make and we put it back into the band. Cause like, we look at it as we're going to be spending our money anyways. So it is like, and you have to fund your craft. Like people who like help you do their thing and do their thing, they live off of it. So that's what I would say. I think that's a decent piece of advice.
Absolutely. Yeah, it ties back into what we were talking about earlier, right? Like I think you have to know at some point when you're going all in. Mm-hmm. You have to just push your chips in and say, this is it. This is my time.
And good connections are worth so much more than money. And like making a show for $1,000 and meeting 3 people that are like will benefit you down the like it's like connections are like
people.
people.
I would add on to that to our motto, which I I mean, it would tie into this. Any advice? Treat the door person like they're the CEO or the person running the festival or the person that you need to know, because down the line, they'll remember that. Everyone remembers that. I will say that's one of the things that I've gotten the most from being on American Idol is you see all these comments from people we haven't seen in a long time, and they comment, they're like, we saw them, they were amazing at this and this, and everyone said they were so nice and so like relatable as people. And I think that's the one thing you need to do is you treat everyone with the utmost respect. Obviously, this is just any human being type thing, but you treat everyone like they're equal authority to everything, and you'll go far.
That's it. We all bleed the same, right? And it's been a recurring theme throughout our conversation that you all are people of humility. Again, I know I mentioned a few minutes ago, but I stand by that. And on this journey, and the more recognition that you all receive, I'm excited to see you grow and to keep that going on too. I feel like this has been a remarkable conversation. I can't thank you all enough for being on. You guys are truly.
It's kind of
great.
funny to me. It's just like, yeah, we're the most humble people we know. What's that from?
I don't know, but it's we try.
It ends up running back to that, but it's more so. It comes off like that, but I would personally say it's more so like, just like being grounded, like knowing where you're at, knowing where everyone else is at, and just knowing that everyone else is pushing for the same thing almost, and
like,
yeah.
To us, it's almost, at least I was having a conversation with somebody else about this the other day. Like it's not like we don't like do it like, oh, we got to do this so we look this way. We just do it because that's like how we try to be like being like a jerk.
Because that's
somebody
how
is so weird.
Well, I mean,
to
we
us.
started off. We were the small band in the room. We still are sometimes, and it's just like nice when the big band walks in and goes, "Hey, how's it going? You know, come here." Really, whatever.
Yeah.
But
And it's
absolutely.
always-
go ahead.
it's
I cut
always-
you off. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I totally think you're spot on. I recently saw a concert with Joe Nichols, and he brought up someone that was from Columbus, and it was in Cleveland. It was just like I brought him on stage and put him in the band. It was super cool. Just that notion of being just authentic and being. I keep coming back to humble, but having that gracious heart and presence is never outweighed by anything. So hats off to you all on that in your journey.
Thank you.
But to our audience, we will have all of the links and socials and the media for Recess and each of the members down in the description below, of course, along with Chats with Clark. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, we're 70 episodes in, and we're just patiently waiting for you to do so. So please hit the subscribe button, keep following along, and we appreciate you. Send this to someone who you know would value from listening to this conversation with Recess, hearing about their mindsets and the journey that they are going on, including the grapes that Alex is diving into here on the fake plant.
I said I had to do it.
Are they ripe?
I gotta include too today. I've been mixing the song all day. Petals is a song we're coming out with. It's very sad. It's brutally heartfelt. But
Anthony, where can they stream Petals?
just at Recess Official, you'll find it. You'll find us talking about it at some point. It might come across your feed anyway.
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube Music.
Keep the litany going.
I mean,
so
we
wherever
got
you're
a
listening to
link tree.
music.
Yeah, we got link trees. Leads you to everything. Really, you can find us anywhere.
But that song it's brutally, it's very sad. It's
kind of a tough sales pitch here, Anthony.
No,
but,
it's about a loved one we lost to mental health issues, and we weren't like I said, we don't usually write songs about like super personal stuff, but he came over, we started writing, and it became about that, and the song is super powerful. So I'm looking forward to the song to come out.
Absolutely. We're excited to hear it,
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
And dive in on that too. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Joe Clark, signing off of episode 70 of the Chats with Clark podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.